Hey, I'm Spencer with energeticcity.ca, and this is the Community Roundup, which is sponsored by Brad's Furniture and Appliances. Right now I'm joined by Anne with WorkBC. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you, Spencer?
Doing well, thank you. So September is a special month. It's very important. Can you tell me a little bit about why?
So September is BC Disability Employment Month, and as a representative from WorkBC, we wanted to share some information about the resources and services that we can offer both individuals and employers in the community. We have some very wonderful participants here with me today that we wanted to share a little bit about their stories and how they have been involved in the local community and impacted in their businesses disability employment. So we have Eric from NEAT, we also have Michael from NEAT, and we have Chris who's from Improvement Institute. And I guess I'll give a little backstory. Our first interactions with NEAT came about when they requested a project funded by WorkBC called a Job Creation Partnership. It's based on a need that is experienced in the community that is currently not met. WorkBC provides the funding and covers the costs for the participants to go through the program and the project. And so NEAT have submitted a number of applications which have turned into long-term successful projects that they continue to deliver today. And then Michael came to us as a client with a disability who was seeking employment, and his initial introduction to NEAT was also through a job creation partnership program, and Michael has continued on to successful long-term employment through the development of skills and experience he's gained through these projects. I'll let Eric and Michael speak a little bit more about that, if that's good.
Of course. All right.
Thank you.
Eric, can you tell me a little bit about the project that you were kind of looking to start when Michael kind of came to you guys?
Sure, Spencer, thanks. This was a couple years ago now, Mike, correct? Maybe even 3 years ago now.
2 years.
We had a special project, and we wanted to connect and communicate with the rest of our community and see how NEAT could grow and the ways that the community wanted us to grow. And we actually just needed hands on deck in order to help with processing information, creating polls and creating surveys. And that's where we brought Mike in, because he already had a certain set of skills. He was very computer literate, a great guy as well. So he was able to come in and put those skills to work, as well as gain a whole bunch of new skills. Mike has been with us this whole time. He's now working with our Nourish kitchen as well as the Meals on Wheels kitchen. So Mike, as Anne said, has turned into long-term employment with us, and it really speaks to what we try to do at NEAT, which is be connective tissue within our community, and really focus on bringing community together and being able to bring people from different walks of life into not only a NEAT family, but make them feel as part of the community and bring them in and have them serve be a valuable piece within our community. And I think that's something a lot of not-for-profits, WorkBC is working on, a lot of people in this community are working on. And we were happy to have Mike and many others, actually. There are a few others in our programming now, volunteers with Meals on Wheels and with Nourish, who are kind of on the same kind of track, trying to find their feet, find gainful employment, and be a part of the community. So NEAT was happy to have and be part of this program and continue to be, yeah.
That's fantastic. I want to hear a little bit from Mike now, because I've been standing in front of him this whole time. Mike, how has the experience been for you? First, starting off with NEAT, but also being able to kind of transition to more permanent full-time employment.
It's been a quite experience. When I first started, I worked in the hospitality industry and had to give that up because of my disability. So I was trying to find some office work or something like that. So I reached out to WorkBC, which they sent me to school for a bit of administrative office work and stuff. And then the program came up with NEAT, which would give me more experience. So I said, sure, I'll do it. And it was a great experience to be with NEAT, to learn more about the community and what people are looking for in this community for inclusiveness.
Absolutely. So Eric mentioned that you learned some new skills while working for NEAT. Can you tell me a little bit about those?
I learned a lot about research. Learned a little more on the computer with SurveyMonkey, JotForm, and expanding my skills more on Excel and Word and stuff like that. So.
Absolutely. Do you see yourself kind of staying with NEAT for a while now, or?
Yes, as long as I can. So, and that. So yeah, I've come full circle and gotten back with NEAT, and like Eric said, in the kitchen. So
That's excellent.
just fun.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right. Anything you want to add? I feel like I haven't spoken to you this whole time.
Yeah, Spence, we're a training provider, Improvement Institute, that does the driver training, Class 1, Class 5, and we have a diverse group of instructors. We've bought a lot, so we have a classroom and a space for them to learn, and you need to make some allowances for people, and it's not a disability. You had a better term
Oh yeah,
for
that was
it.
such a good one. Mike, can you tell us what you said earlier?
Yeah, it's instead of disability, I've come to see myself as somebody with diverse ability,
Okay.
and instead of me being disabled, I found that I'm more diversible than anything. So
That's awesome.
And so we play on that. And so there's abilities that they have. If they need extra time with an instructor, they need the course broken down smaller, whatever the need is, we make changes in our program so that that person is included. Because
Right.
you need your whole community. We're recovering from a financial situation recently. Not to say a four-letter word of COVID or anything, but
Oh, I don't think I heard about that.
yeah, it's news to people. But if you have the whole community involved and you've got resources and people that want to work, people that want to contribute, they need a place where they're comfortable, they feel safe, they feel like they're respected. So we have a high level of confidentiality.
Right.
We adjust the programs to what they need and give them the support so they can be successful. And then when they get into the workforce, they actually stay employed. And employers, I encourage them to find somebody that are diversely able, not disabled, but diversely able to get into your workforce. And we're training lots of people, and they've stayed working for years and years and years. We worked with WorkSafe and different funders, and those individuals that get out into the workforce, they stay as a solid employee. And I've noticed something with people with a lot of ability, normal ability, you could say, after about 3 years, they start to bend the rules. And they're like, okay, I've survived for 3 years driving this commercial truck. Now I'm going to start waving a little bit. But you get somebody with the diverse ability, and once they learn it solid. In 3 years' time, they're not like, they're like, no. When they began, they needed to know why and how come and what about and this part and that part. And it's very difficult to get them through the training because they won't take anything that they don't see the value. But once they get it,
Right.
and they get in that job, they actually stay safe. They do the procedures correctly, and they don't divert. You don't have to come back in 3 years and do an update. But my other students, I almost need to have a 2.5 year refresher
Yeah.
to make sure. And you'll see that in pilots, you'll see that in drivers, you'll see that in anything where people have that disadvantage. So there is an advantage to the employers to have someone that's going to stay with the policies and do it correctly.
Right, just making that training more accessible is there's actually a huge benefit in it. That's not just obviously helping people, but making sure that people stay on
They're doing the
straight and
policies correctly, and they're not unsafe to themselves. Your family, my family are on these roads. So the better drivers we produce, the safer the roads are for everybody's families. And look at the fatalities we have on this highway. So we're directly influencing the safe driving. All the driving schools are. And that's what we take pride in.
That's awesome. All right, throwing it back over to Anne here. I feel like I've done a complete 360 at this point. Anne, how moving forward, I know that is there anything special that WorkBC is doing for September?
Yeah, so actually today we have an open house. You can drop by our office, ask questions, get resources, information on our services. Our tent is up outside. Hopefully it's still there. It's a little windy. We have the tent up between 1 and 4. But if today doesn't work for you, we're there Monday to Friday. Give us a call or stop by our office. We'd love to hear from you. I just want to attest to what Chris said, and on behalf of the clients through WorkBC, that we have funded to take Class 1 driver training with Chris. Chris has worked with the clients. There have been clients with their struggles, but Chris has made every accommodation possible to ensure success, and that's the attitude that we're looking for. It's the attitude that our clients need, and it's the attitude that employers need to take in order to ensure their long-term success with their workforce. Don't overlook individuals with diverse abilities, Michael.
That's the word of the day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Make sure that you're breaking down your own barriers and set your own bias aside and focus on the person in front of you and what their strengths are, and you could find that you have the most loyal long-term employee that you may not necessarily have considered before.
Absolutely. It's always helpful
Yeah.
every few years to check those biases as well.
Exactly.
Because things change so quickly.
Right.
But just so everyone knows, the open house. What's the address? Where can we find it?
We're at 9907 99 Avenue. There is a little bit extra construction happening today.
Sure is.
Please come by off of 100th Street and 99 Avenue. If you're on foot, you can come either direction. If you can't make it, give us a call, 250-787-0024. We'd be happy to help you. And we look forward to seeing you guys.
Absolutely. And call that number if you see the tent blowing in the wind.
Please do.
They
Yes.
would love to have that back if that
Yeah.
that ends up becoming airborne. Excellent. Well, is there anything else you want to add before I let you go?
I have a little presentation for Chris and Eric on behalf of NEAT.
Fantastic.
Just as a recognition of their contribution to inclusion and diversity in the workplace. And I'll let you have that one.
Wow, that's amazing.
And they get to keep these, we don't take them back.
Oh.
And this one's for Chris. And so we really appreciate the work that you do. The clients that we serve also appreciate the work that you do and the efforts that you put in. This is on behalf of WorkBC. We just want to say thanks. And
Thank you so much.
you're
Thank you so
welcome.
much. Yeah,
Thank you.
We're happy to be a part of it.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. And Michael, you get a crisp
Michael,
high five.
this is for you to share in as well because it's too neat.
Yeah.
So thank you.
It's awesome that you guys.
That's fantastic. Well, congratulations to everybody except for, I guess me.
Sorry,
But
Spencer.
no, it's okay. I'm just happy to be a
I'll
part
go
of
and
it.
whittle you up one right
Yeah,
now.
please do. No, it's just I'm okay. My award is being here. So excellent. Well, thank you so much for everyone coming down. It's a lovely day to stand in the sun.
It is.
Well, thank you guys so much. This has been the Community Roundup, which is sponsored by Brad's Furniture and Appliances. I'm Spencer for Energetic City. Check out WorkBC for employment opportunities. Everyone's looking, so you might as well. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Spencer.